Spirituality is a process of learning about life, learning about people, learning about the BS that they do, learning about your mind, learning about consciousness. That's the main thing. And the reason why I started my spiritual journey was mainly because I see that people manipulate other people through their emotions. That's the main way. They manipulate you through your emotions, and the only way that a manipulation can work is if you participate in it. Just think about it, right? A kid is acting up and the parent is like, all right, if you behave right now, I'll get you a treat. I'll get you a toy. And then the kid starts being like, okay, I'm gonna behave for that toy. It's easy to manipulate a child with a toy, just like how it's easy to manipulate someone with what they're desiring. People participate in becoming manipulated because they lack self-control. In this journey of spirituality, the main theme is staying conscious over your actions, over your thoughts, over who you are, because they play a big part in life. That's when I realized the biggest problem that plagues man is a lack of self-awareness. Everyone is so aware of what everyone else is doing that they're so quick to point fingers at the wrongdoing of other people, like, oh, you're doing something wrong, you're doing something wrong, you're doing something wrong. But they're the last ones to look in a mirror, because when they do the same thing, they don't see it, or they don't think that other people see it, and it's what's in your mind. Spirituality is separating your actions and your judgment of those actions so that you could see when you're doing wrong. Some people think that no one can see what they're thinking in their head. Some people think that everyone else is oblivious to what's going on in their head, what they're thinking about. But people can feel it. Just because they can't see it doesn't mean they can't feel it. It's just like when you have bad breath. Even though your nose is right above your mouth, you're the last one to smell it because you got used to your stench. And other people, they're not used to that. People feel what you feel about yourself, and they can also feel what you think. That's why intentions are vital for living, because intentions is what your mind is focused on, and whatever your mind is focused on, your body expresses. The thing that I do to clear my intentions up is I write it down first. I write down my intentions so that it creates a separation, a physical one, between me and the words that are in my head. The way that you can tell if your intentions are good or not is if you're not afraid to show it to other people. Like, you wouldn't be ashamed if other people found out what your intentions were. 'Cause if you're ashamed of letting other people know what your intents are, it might not be a good intent. This is where most people get caught up in the mental, because inherently we're all selfish creatures. We're all selfish. We're all looking out for our own self-interest. But when you grow your consciousness, you understand that what serves other people serves you as well, because you're all in the community together. Instead of changing their mentality, instead of changing internally, a lot of people chase the symptoms of the mentality, like being fake nice. But all this does is just, it's like having body odor and putting Axe body spray to cover up the stench. You have to change your intent. Think about it like this. If you were to shadow clone jutsu yourself, make a duplicate of yourself, how would you feel on the receiving end of what you're giving? That's the question I think everyone should be asking themselves every time they have an interaction with another human being. When I was training to be a first responder at Fort Totten, I remember I had these drill instructors that were on my head top, bro. And it was just because I was young. It was just because I was young and I got this devious looking face. I remember because during orientation, the drill instructors try to play like good cop, bad cop, military type of thing. Like, oh, we're serious around here. And they were just looking for somebody to make an example out of. And I was that person they were constantly making examples out of, in the beginning at least. But over time, they started seeing how serious I was to be there. I saw exactly how my drill instructors perceived of me, that I was just this inner city kid that was just a moron and didn't know any better. But over time, when they saw my intent, when they saw how serious I was for showing up there and just getting the work done, getting the knowledge in, they grew respect for me. And over time, like, bro, we was having regular conversations as if I was their colleague. Could have been immature and said, y'all just picking on me because I'm young and I'm black and I'm beautiful. That's why y'all mad. Y'all just haters. I could have been like that. But that would just show selfish intent, because you're only thinking about yourself. You're only thinking about your ego. In that situation, I understood the movie that I was in. I understood that these drill instructors see idiots come by every day and they just assume that I was one of them. All I had to do was just stay true to my intentions, and real recognizes real. So they're gonna see, like, on a consistent basis, like, oh, this guy is actually showing up. Okay. That's just a side effect of good intentions. When your intentions go beyond yourself, when it goes beyond the individual and it serves the movie. It's like something that's said about you before you even open your mouth, like a smell. When people do good deeds, they want credit for doing it. Like they want to show other people, hey, look, I did something good. It's like, it just cancels the credit out, all right? It's like a catch-22, right? Where God gives you like this paradigm. The only way that you can get into heaven is if you commit a selfless act on earth. You would only be doing it to get into heaven, which makes the action not selfless. Life is like a movie because everything is being recorded. Not these devices. I'm not talking about camera recording. I'm not talking about physical things that you can't take beyond the grave. I'm talking about this. Your consciousness is recording your life, and everyone has a point of view on this grid of consciousness that makes up the bigger picture of life. If you lack self-awareness, then you're disconnected from this bigger picture. Doesn't matter what you think as long as you're thinking. Think about the thoughts that you're having, because those come from the intent that's within you. If your thoughts are always negative towards people, maybe you should change your intent when you interact with people.